Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist regrets about you. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please subscribe. So I'll jump right into it. What does the narcissist regret about you? Now, before I really dig into it, I want to throw a caveat out here that many people believe that post-narcissistic relationship, that the narcissist has just pranced off into the moonlight and they are living their best lives. This is not true. The narcissist is a human being, as are you. They also hit speed bumps. They hit roadblocks. Not everything goes swimmingly for anybody on the planet. You now know that because most likely you have gone through and or are going through a narcissistic relationship. You're getting the wisdom on my channel, and that is a great thing. Having said this, when the relationship has culminated, let's say you were discarded, that was one of the most challenging, difficult periods of your life. Perhaps it happened recently. If it did, my heart goes out to you. Continue on the path moving forward each and every day. Continue to invest in yourself. Understand the relationship wasn't what you thought it was. It wasn't your fault. You were manipulated and taken advantage of, most likely. But getting back on track, the narcissist, when they move on to another source of supply, let's say, example, you were discarded. Okay, well, I can assure you they had other sources lined up, not sources, and their fuel tanks were full. They were overflowing with excitement, exuberance, energy, possibly money, other things. We get that now. But the point is, what the new supply didn't have is they didn't have the wisdom that you're getting. And I certainly didn't have it until not long ago myself. I now have it. I understand exactly what it is. But I also understand that the narcissist will have regrets about the relationship that you were a part of. Just like you had to go and process things post-narcissistic relationship. You had to learn about what narcissism is, how it affected you for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, that you were manipulated, that you were giving to a fault, that perhaps you were a people pleaser. Most likely you are an empath or have a high degree of empathy, and you did not want to quit on the relationship because perhaps you got married and or went into business with them or trusted them or gave them so many chances and you believed that they would change. They won't change. All they do is shift the mask they wear to another unsuspecting individual. But having said that, you had to put yourself back together. What did the narcissist do? That's right. They just jumped on to another source of supply. And by now, let's say your relationship ended a couple years ago, by now there certainly are multiple sources of supply that they probably jumped aboard. Point of all these things are the narcissist will look back in time and they will look at you. Believe me when I tell you, and they will say, wow, not only is that the one that got away, but my current source of supply. Notice I'm not saying spouse or husband or wife or partner or whomever you're thinking about. I'm saying source of supply because that's how they look at individuals. They look at individuals as sources of supply and opportunities to take from. But they will be saying to themselves, wow, that one, which was you, they are absolutely crushing it right now. They're doing incredible. They are living their best life. And my gosh, I had it so good. And what did I do? I blew up the relationship like I blow up all relationships with everybody. Business associates, family members, siblings, kids, co-workers, neighbors, whomever. That's what the narcissist does, and they know that. But there will be regrets in the back of their mind. Now, you may be saying, well, Andrew, untrue. The narcissist doesn't regret anything. What are you talking about? I beg to differ. They are still a human being. They still think things through the way you and I do. Now, they live for the moment, not in the moment. I've mentioned that last week in a few videos. And they care about themselves exclusively. We know all that. They still will be looking back in time and comparing sources of supply. That is why you must go no contact with these individuals. You must block them, remove all flying monkeys and people associated with them. Get the education, use your experience. Those two couple together equal wisdom, and now you can enter the third version of yourself. That was a gloss over of what you will have to do post-narcissistic relationship. If this is the first video you're ever consuming, go slow. In time, in your time, you will heal. You will have to put a lot of work into yourself. You will have to pick yourself up. You will have to dust yourself off. You'll have to journal. You'll have to perhaps see a qualified therapist who knows about narcissism exclusively and other aspects of therapy. But if they know about narcissism, specifically if they've gone through it, they can really help you out. You will have to meditate. You will have to watch videos. You will have to spend time alone, and you will probably be self-isolating, and you will have to heal childhood wounds, etc. That's for a whole different video. Point being, what does the narcissist regret the most about you? They're going to regret the energy that you had, how you were always there for them, to do things for them. Perhaps it was cooking, cleaning, vacation planning, paying for bills, making them look good, being the arm candy, being the sounding board, being the person that is there for them despite that they were not there for you. Because remember, all of these things in the narcissistic relationship, they are a one-way factor in the relationship. In other words, you were the giving tree. You were the person who was giving to a fault. You just didn't know it, because most likely after the euphoric stage, or after you said I love you, or entered into a business with them, or loaned them money, or relocated halfway around the world, they knew that they had you. Remember, the narcissist puts the most work into the relationship in the beginning, because that's when they want to do their homework on you and figure out what makes you tick. That's why they do the research and the reconnaissance. That's why they pick your brain. That's why they ask you so many questions. That's why they don't answer so many questions. That's why there's vagueness in the beginning of the relationship on the narcissist part. That's why the relationship moves at light speed in the beginning, so they can get you where they want you in that web of manipulation and distrust and dishonesty. And they want you living, existing, I should say, in the narcissistic fog, where you don't know if you're coming or going. You don't know what's up or down. You know that you want to get back to the beginning, the euphoric stage, and yes, the narcissist will throw you breadcrumbs of fake love and empathy and hope along the way. They will certainly future fake you. They will gaslight you, stonewall you, give you the silent treatment. You will experience rage fits. You will experience poor behavior. You will experience ghosting. You will experience so many things in the devaluation stage that when you really reflect and look back on them, you're going to say, wow, I tolerated a lot. I put up with so much, but what did I do? I kept giving and giving and giving, and I gave to a fault. But back then, I didn't have the wisdom. Back then, I didn't know what I was up against, which is narcissism. I wasn't taught this in school. I figured it out because I typed in something in the Google browser or YouTube, and boom, Andrew's channel popped up, and here I am. I'm getting the wisdom. I found that needle in a mountain of hay, in the haystack, and here I am. I'm getting the wisdom. Remember, you can't unsee what you have seen. You owe it to yourself to insulate and protect yourself. Discovering what narcissism is and figuring out how it affected you for a period of time, that's a superpower. You can't go backwards. And once you come through the fire and rise to the ashes like a phoenix, you are in the third version of you. The third version, which is the galvanized version of you. It's when you now have boundaries. You now don't tolerate poor behavior. You now remove yourself from uneasy situations and or environments, meaning if you're at the office cooler and you're listening to some toxicity, you will now remove yourself because you don't want to be a part of it. You don't want to listen to it. You don't want to hear it. You are now focusing on yourself. Now, what the narcissist will regret about you, they're going to regret what I just mentioned. They're also going to regret how perhaps you raised the kids, or how you paid the bills, or how you always were on time. In other words, if you said you would be there at 5, you would be there at 5. Remember this. I'm going to flip the script now. The narcissist, whatever new supply they have, or new supplies, let's say, many times, I would say most times, these individuals, they're not like you. They're not an empath. They're not a person who's going to give to a fault. They're not a person who's going to keep their word. The narcissist many times falls for another narcissist, or another clinical term which I will not use. There's so many different kinds of people on the planet. When the narcissist found you, and I do mean found you, they struck pay dirt. You are the diamond in the rough. The thing is, you did not know your value then. You do now. And the narcissist has always known your value. That's why they wanted to get in the relationship with you. That's why they strung you along and future faked you and perhaps had you fall in love with them when they can't fall in love with you. But they knew what they had in you. And believe me when I tell you, when they are secretly surfing you on social media or using flying monkeys to spy on you, because it happens every day, and I'm not trying to trigger you, and I'm not trying to have you ask for a Hoover or want a Hoover. You should not want a Hoover. Again, as I mentioned in the video, you should be blocking these people and anyone associated with them. And if you can minimize your exposure to social media, I would do so also. But remember, what is a flying monkey? A flying monkey, for you newbies on the channel, it's a person who is a pawn and a puppet to the narcissist. They just don't know it. Sometimes they know it, most times they don't. And they will be spying on you at times to report back, to gather information about you, your hair color, how you're doing, your romantic interest, your job, everything about you. And they will report back to the narcissist. Because why? Because these people don't have their own lives, first of all. Second of all, they like to gossip. And these are the kind of people that sincerely, there's no core to them either. They potentially could be the next target from the narcissist. Because why? Because each and every person who is close to the narcissist is a potential target. Nobody is safe, not one individual. Whether you've known the narcissist for a day or for 20 plus years, you are not safe. And you know what I'm talking about, because think, in the body of the relationship, and I'm speaking to flying monkeys now, whoever you are, wherever you are, think about the narcissist or the person that you think could be a narcissist. Did you experience poor behavior in the last 20 years? Yes, you did, but you looked the other way, didn't you? Of course you did. Why? Because you gave them a mulligan, you gave them a pass, but believe me, you could be targeted just as well. So having said these things, what will the narcissist regret about you the most? They're going to regret so many things, but right now, as I'm creating this video, they really could be looking back in time and saying to themselves, wow, that one not only was the one that got away, but I really am hurting for supply, and I will never find anybody like that. But what am I going to have to do now? I'm going to have to really put on my mask. I'm going to have to super glue it to my face and really dig in deep into my arsenal of weapons to find another unsuspecting source of supply. And I'm going to have to hope that they're even 1/100th as good as you were, the person watching the video. And I know in the back of my mind, most likely they won't be, because the person who was watching the video, which is you were the best thing they've ever found. You were the best thing they ever had. They know it, you know it, I know it, and people all around you know it. This is exactly what happens frequently. So think about this for a minute. I'm going to zoom out. When the relationship ends, many times what you have to do is you have to heal. You have to process things. You have to go into your cocoon of boundaries and understand what happened. That's what you do. That's why you're on the channel. The narcissist does nothing like that. They just go to the next source of supply. Now, the work that you have done in the past or the work that you're doing now, it pays off so immensely in the future because you're learning about yourself. You're not wearing a mask to manipulate people. You're actually creating boundaries and shortening your circle, your social circle, and you're understanding who was there in the past for you, which was very few people, if anybody, and who you want to add to your social circle now. The narcissist doesn't do that. What they do is they live a life of regret, a life of hopelessness. They live a life of fear. That's true. You may say, a fear of what, Andrew? Well, I did a whole series on that a year and a half ago. You should check it out. But they fear being abandoned. They fear being exposed. They fear being alone. They fear people finding out who they are. They fear not having sources of supply. They fear getting older. The aging narcissist is not a pretty sight to see. There are many things they fear. And think about this. Each and every day when the narcissist wakes up and super glues that mask to their face for unsuspecting individuals or for people that actually have to tolerate the poor behavior. Maybe it's their kids or maybe it's their current spouse, whomever. Every day they do that. They're always on a constant quest searching for the new supply, searching for the perfect person, which doesn't exist. I know it and you know it. They don't know it. That is exactly why they jump from relationship to relationship, business to business, town to town, city to city, country to country, imploding every relationship they get involved with. Because eventually these relationships, they don't serve the narcissist because the narcissist gets jaded and they get bored. And that's why they have to go around looking for other sources of supply. But what the narcissist will regret most about you is exactly who you are, what you provided, your honor, your dignity, your integrity, your courage, your strength, your resilience, your empathy. These things are all beautiful qualities that not everybody possesses. It's true. Remember, you may think or may have thought in the past that most people think and or are built the way you are. They're not. They are sincerely not. Now, that is not saying that each and every individual doesn't have good qualities. My hope is we all do. My other hope is that you understand your worth, because you are worth so much more than what the narcissist had you believe, first of all. Second of all, post-narcissistic relationship, my hope is you're discovering who you really are, or you've already discovered who you are. And your value's through the roof. You're an abundant, beautiful, bright, shining light. I know it and you know it. The narcissist knows it. And guess what? They regret what they did to you. They regret all the poor behavior. They regret all of the nonsense that they put you through. Are they going to tell you that? Absolutely not. Do they just act like it never happened? Many times. Will they tell anybody about what I'm sharing with you? In other words, yeah, I really regret what I did. No, they're not going to do any of that. But when they have to go to bed at night and they have to live in their mind of hollowness and emptiness and darkness and destruction, chaos, manipulation, and then they have to take off that mask for a few hours and they have to be alone with themselves, that's all you need to know. What you do is when you go to bed, you know that during the day you did the best you possibly could to make this place called Earth a better place. You are creating, you're building, you're growing, you're learning, you're becoming educated. Narcissist isn't doing that. They have to put on the front, the charade, and act like they are so much more important than they really are. And they want others believing in that narrative. Now, most people believe in it until they get too close to it, and then they understand what this person is about, which is nothing but insecurity, being a bully, a coward, and stonewalling their way through life like a bull in a china shop. But eventually everybody reveals themselves. Each and every one of us in time reveal ourselves, because for the narcissist, they can't wear that mask forever. It gets very cumbersome in each and every relationship. It gets very cumbersome the older they get. And remember, aging narcissists, the older they get, the more they're fighting Father Time. That's a battle they will never win. None of us win that battle. The difference is you age gracefully and go through life the best you can, and that you should be blessed that you're on a planet one more day, or you try to fight Father Time, and you can do whatever you do and act like you are from 2 generations younger than where you're from, wearing the clothes of a generation younger or 2. That's up for people to do, not for me to say. Point being, what the narcissist will regret about you? They will regret many things. They will also regret that many people, play this one because then I'm going to end the video. They will regret that many people know who they are. Trust me when I tell you. Now, do they know the term narcissist? No. But they know, maybe by now they do, but do they know to stay away from the narcissist or keep them at bay? Yes, they do. Do they know what you, the person watching the video, what great qualities you had when you were with the narcissist? Absolutely. Will they admit it? Maybe, maybe not. But most people are observant. Of course, most people, when you're around the narcissist, many people listen to the narcissist narrative. But as time goes by, people see more cracks in the armor. They see the mask slip more and more. And perhaps they see the narcissist with other sources of supply. And those people are getting thrown to the curb too. And then the friends that the narcissist surrounds themselves with are like, wait, what's going on here? That's your 3rd marriage? And this person's, it's their fault again too? What's going on here? Think what I'm sharing. So the narcissist, believe me, they will regret many things. And their number one regret will be the ending of the relationship when they discarded you, if they did. And that they have to live with that the rest of their lives, because you put yourself back together, you've healed. They are stuck in their tiny little mind trying to play that movie over and over again. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. Again, many people may say, well, Andrew, the narcissist isn't going to regret anything. That's fine. You can think what you want to think. They're a human being. They still go through things just like you did. Every once in a while, imagine this, if you will. There is an energetic connection with the narcissist. You know that by now. There's a spiritual connection. There are many different connections on many different levels. It's not just like an average relationship that ended. But think about post-relationship. I'm talking way down the line, perhaps a year, decades. And every once in a while, perhaps you may ruminate. You may think, wow, did I really go through that? You did. Well, think about them too. The narcissist also can ruminate. The narcissist also has a mind of their own. And believe me, they're comparing fuel sources each and every chance they get. So yes, they will have regrets. Guys, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. God bless you. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.